Hello everyone, my name is Natalia Urquiaga. I would like to welcome you to Omega Project Solutions webinar on our document control software known as Pims Document Control. Here we will talk about how we improve the document control process for a specific client and in effect saving them time and money. Hopefully everyone can hear me. If you are using your computer speakers and the sound is good, great. If you feel that you would prefer using the telephone line, you are able to select that option in your control panel. As you can see right up here, we have an audio tab. There's an option here that you can select the radio button for a telephone. Once you click on that, you should be able to get a phone number and some instructions to help you out to link in through the telephone. Also, if you have any questions that you would like to ask during the course of the webinar, please feel free to use the question box in the question tab right here below. One of our team members will work to address your question as best as they can given the time and quantity of questions that they get. Okay. Now, I know it's lunchtime for most of you, so again, thanks for your time. Just for your information, this is what our agenda looks like. First off, I will give a brief introduction of our staff present here today. Next, we will provide you with a brief background on who Omega is as a company and what we do. Then, as mentioned, we will be focusing on a real client situation regarding document control and then conduct a live demo on how we addressed those needs. And finally, time permitting, we will address questions and answers towards the end of the presentation. Okay. Introductions. So this is our staff. Again, my name is Natalia Urquiaga. I am the Omega Systems Project Coordinator. And the gentleman at my side is Mr. Shane Butt, our VP of Enterprise Systems. Today we will work together to conduct the presentation for you all today. The two gentlemen below, Nathan and Arvid, will be available in the background to answer any questions that you submit via your control panel that we mentioned earlier. These two are experts in the Pims Document Control system, and they have had experience with implementing the system with our clients. All right, now, without further ado, let's get started. Over to you, Shane.
Thank you, Natalia. We're a global company based in Norway. And in fact, the picture you see on the right-hand side there is our head office in a typical Norwegian fjord. Our focus from the beginning was to help companies perform projects more effectively. And we do this in two ways. We use our Pims software product range, and we also provide experienced consultants to work with project teams. Our US headquarters is based in Houston, and this is where we're conducting today's webinar from. Globally, we have approximately 1,000 employees, and more than 25% of them are based in North America. Our Pims product range is made up of many different modules. Obviously, today's focus is going to be on document control. Earlier this year, we conducted webinars related to completion management and health and safety. Next month's webinar will be centered on cost management. All the Pims products reside in the same database, which makes it easy for you to choose and implement the products that best suit your needs. This makes integration easy between the Pims products, and it's straightforward. Now, when people ask me what sets Pims products apart from other software, my answer is simple. We do whatever you need to make our software your software. So, focusing on today's webinar, we're looking at a particular scenario involving a large oil and gas company. They were already an Omega client, but they were not using Pims as their document control solution for their projects. They used another software package. The recent downturn in oil prices was and is still affecting them like it's affecting all of us in one way or another. Like many companies, they set their sights on reducing costs wherever possible. So one initiative they commenced was to look at the cost of controlling documents within major capital projects. They did this because they had a new project underway and wanted to streamline document control on that project. Therefore, they started analysing the document control process to look for opportunities to improve performance and save money. And we're going to talk about the major conclusions that came from their review today, and then how we addressed them. So first off, the verification of data with their contractors was not robust. It required a lot of manual intervention, typically by document controllers, before the documents made their way into the system and to the engineers. This created a lot of extra work and delayed the review cycle. As a side note, we were involved with another project years ago where the EPC's transmittals were shown to have 25% of their document IDs coded incorrectly. For them, we added some extra automation and mapping to the import routine, and that reduced the percentage significantly. We also saw a large amount of email clutter, and the sheer volume of documents made it difficult to identify exactly which documents each engineer needed to be working on. So the system wasn't intuitive. This is their existing system, remember. This meant that the engineers were not always working at the right document at the right time. It also required extra work from the document controller to constantly monitor document flow and expedite documents just to keep things moving. Their existing document control system was not intuitive. They hoped they could have a system that led the documents through the review cycle instead of leaving it to each individual to know what to do next. The document review process itself was cumbersome. The consolidation of comments by the comments responsible person was manual and time-consuming. Documents were not always routed to the correct person. Sometimes more people were involved in the document review than necessary. Simply marking up a document with your comments meant you had to download the document, open the document, add your comments, save the document, and upload it. They also determined that many documents that had historically been reviewed could in fact be skipped. This was typically documents like vendor specifications and data sheets. They identified that some of these documents could in fact just be accepted without a review, that reviewing them added no value. In this scenario, potentially hundreds if not thousands of documents could be filed without undergoing reviews by engineers. If you multiply that number of documents that didn't need to be reviewed by the number of engineers that would have reviewed each of them by the average amount of time taken to do each review, you can easily see how significant savings could be made. Now, while we all know the value of upfront planning, their review highlighted once again you can't spend too much time upfront on planning. Enable your document controllers to have enough time to create a logical and robust MDR is the key to an effective document control process for a project. On top of that, spending time setting up the default distribution matrix based on document attributes like discipline, system, document type, ensure that you involve the right people in the review cycle at the right time. In addition, by allowing enough time to set the distribution matrix up properly in the first place and analyzing results from previous projects, they found that they often needed less people to review a document, which produced further time and cost savings. Another important note in this area is to communicate with your contractors and encourage them to spread out the submission of their documents so you don't get a large number of similar documents at the same time, which will create a bottleneck. This often happened when documents were batched together via transmittals. All of these items led to the fact that the document controller had to be heavily involved in the verification and distribution of documents. It created a bottleneck, it negatively impacted on the ability to deliver documents to the contractors and engineers in a timely manner. So these were the challenges that the client came to us with to see whether we could make Pims Document Control the right choice for their project. So just a high level of Pims Document Control before we dive in and see how we address those issues. Pims Document Control is a very comprehensive package. It's been used on many projects throughout the world. We created some new features within Pims Document Control for this particular client. We also enhanced some existing features and spent time with them showing how they could take advantage of the existing features to deliver the sort of results they were after. So we'll jump into Pims Document Control. I'll be filling the role of the contractor, and I'll be submitting my documents for review, and Natalia will be filling a role within the company to review and reply to those documents. So she'll be on the owner side. Okay, so here we are. Welcome to Pims Document Control. I'm logged in as a contractor, and this is my portal or dashboard if you prefer. Just taking a quick tour of my dashboard, the key elements and the documents are the documents listed on the right-hand side and the filters on the left-hand side. The right-hand side is the MDR, or at least the portion of the MDR that I have access to. I have the MDR sorted by receive date so that the latest documents that have been received are at the top. I can easily see all the relevant information I need right here. I can see the document ID, I can see the current revision, I have color coding on the right hand side to show me the status of each of these documents. I can see which ones have internal reviews in progress, which documents have been reviewed and need me to revise them, the ones in red, and also which documents have been reviewed without comments, green. Now I'm going to delve into the filters on the left-hand side to show how they help me manage my work. I can easily see which documents have been reviewed and had no comments. Okay, which documents were reviewed with comments and which documents were reviewed and in fact I need to go back and they need me to respond on. I'm also going to show how the filters are interactive and intelligent. So if I look, for instance, here, I can see different systems and a variety of disciplines. When I click on a particular system, you'll see that the disciplines are automatically updated to reflect which disciplines are applicable to that particular system. Okay, and I can also filter on things like type of documents and plant. Finally, I'll search for documents related to the hull, and that is as simple as typing in a Google search. Just type in the words, hit the enter button, and off you go. So all these tools have made it easy for me to do my work. I've completed the documents that I needed to be working on at the moment, and they are ready to be submitted. So I'm going to upload them. Okay, I can drag and drop them, or I can just upload them. There's the 4 documents that I was working on. I've completed them, and I'm going to drag and drop them up to my portal. Okay, you can see that the system has automatically done some validation based on the MDR that was created by the document controller. I can see it's found a match based on the file names that I uploaded with the document ID, which step we're at, the current revision and the revision dates. So I've done what I need to do. I'll submit those files and the system is going to tell me that I had some errors in there, which I was expecting. So for instance, this revision already exists. I forgot that I had uploaded that a few days ago, so I'll remove that from my list to be updated. And this one here had some missing information. So I'm going to edit that. I will choose the step, the revision, and the revision date. And I will go back and submit my files. Now in the old days I might have had to pass these off to my document controller, who might batch them together with other contractors' documents and then send those through as a transmittal. But now the process is simple. I've done what I need to do. Those documents have gone straight to the company that Natalia works for.
All right, that was simple enough. So me acting now as an engineer on the company side, as Shane explained, once I log in as an engineer on the web tool, this is my homepage, and this is where I will get notified what I need to do, where most of my work will be. And as you can see, down here are my actions and notifications. This is my workbench. So as you can tell below, so these are the documents that I have to review, one of them including one of the documents that Shane literally just pushed through. All right, so as a reviewer, okay, let's get down to the first document. Okay, so clicking on the document, this will take me to the different types of, this will take me through a form. As you can see, I'm just collapsing these menus. So right here on the very top, you have the review information. I can see the document number, the revision, what is my action? It's comments. Great. The review deadline, etc. Over here on the side, we'll say who is involved in this document within the review process. Now, my name is up here. So yes, I'm a reviewer in this case. Now below it says Engineer Linda. She has a CR to the next to her name. That means she is the comments responsible. She is the person responsible in submitting and responding to this revision. So my job is to review, and when it goes on to her, she can pick and choose which comments she would like or that she likes from what I've commented on. She'll add her own, and then she'll forward it on to the contractor as a final response. But right now, my only job is just to comment. So the next menu, which is a really cool feature, we have this web PDF annotations markup feature. All right, it will take your PDF and it will basically put it in this menu here. As you can tell, there's our procedure. All right, what's really cool about it is just like PDF, you can move it up and down. You can zoom in, especially for those PNIDs that it is very hard to see. You can move in and out. All right, go to the next page, etc. You can even have that little select text icon. So on the bottom here, you'll have some tools. You have the highlight tool, you have create note, strike out, draw, and then delete anything that you've done. So let's demonstrate, for example. Okay. Let's say you need to change your title. So let's go ahead and I'll just cross that out and I'll create a note to it. So, see, okay, change title to Boulder travel procedure, for example. Okay, great. So, did my markup. Strike out, I can even draw. I can say, I don't know, correct this or something like that. Okay, now here at the bottom where it says my comments, everything that I put up here will get dragged on the bottom, as you can tell. So I got 3 things up here. Let me do another drawing just so I can show you that it's instantaneous. So there's my drawing, boom, down there. So whatever markups I do here, it's really, really, really cool. And it'll get dragged onto here. So not only can I mark up there, I can also manually type what I need to do. So please revise title, for example. And it'll show right down here. Of course, I can also edit whatever I need, the markups down here as well. So markup. Do what I need to do. This menu here, if any reason I want to upload the document itself and take it away with me or look at it, print it out, I do have it here, the original document. Okay. Down here, if there were any other reviewers, I will be able to see their comments as well. Okay. Also down here, if there are previous revisions, I'll be able to see them there. So other revisions for A, B, C. Okay. So, did my markup? Looks good. All right. And my only job left to do is submit my comments. So I go ahead and click that. And what this does, it will submit it to the next person in line, or in this case, since I'm the only reviewer, Linda will get a notification that she needs to review this document, and she'll be able to see my comments. Sounds simple enough. All right, so I was acting as a reviewer. Let's see what Linda, or a comments responsible, would see. So let me go back to my home page. Okay, so you can tell the Boulder procedure is no longer here. All right, let's try this one, compressor flow diagram. Okay, as you can tell up here in the review information, the reviewer has already reviewed this, and now my name, I have the CR, and the comments responsible. Okay, so when I go down here, same view, same form, except I can see everyone else's comments over here, and my job, see, I can see the other reviewers' comments down here. My job is this section. All right, I have the same function. I can draw. Let me go zoom in on this P and ID. So this person wants me to correct that number. Okay, I agree with that. All right. So again, it's the same function as the reviewer. The only thing is I can look at my other reviewers' comments. And for example, I agreed with that comment. So, all right, let me add that reviewer's comments to my response so I don't have to resubmit that response. So I clicked 25 IR, right? And it moved down here. Okay, I also agree that they should link this to there, which was over here. So you can see, there should be a link here. Okay, I agree with that. All right, let's go ahead and add my own comment. You can text anything that you wish. So this is for demo purposes, so sorry for the lack of making sense on the text. If anything, I can always delete my responses, like, you know what, that doesn't make sense, so let me go ahead and delete. Very, very smooth. What I really like about this is very user-friendly. So I looked at the person's comments, the reviewer's comments. So far I liked it. I can see previous revisions, just like mentioned. All right, and when I'm done, I have a status drop down here. All right, so these are the different status that I can, submit this form. If I select review and submit for new review, right over here, it will notify the contractor to resubmit a new revision under the same status. In other words, resubmit the document as Rev B in an IFR, or issue for review status. The same review process will then be conducted, just the same thing, okay, depending on the distribution matrix, of course. If I select the second option, which is up here, the system will notify the contractor to implement the comments and issue for construction and so forth. It will show up in what Shane showed you in the filters on the side. All right, so I think we're good with my comments. All right, so all I need to do is press finalize the review. And that is it. That's all I have for the review process. Now, quick and easy. So everything is automated, like I said, without the need of a document controller to add any documents to a transmittal, which saves a lot of time. Okay, so you have to keep going through that back and forth. The review process is routed, as mentioned, based on the distribution matrix, and that you can view over here. These are some of the modules that we have. So if I click here in the distribution matrix, okay, excuse me, here you can view the entire matrix for your project. You can view who is defaulted as commenter or comment responsible. Let me go ahead and get that going. So these are the list of your documents. Here are the list of people who are related to those documents, the review class, this person's a commenter, information only, etc. All right, and the filters that are up here, the document filters, you can use them to narrow down your search. So let's say Boulder. Let me go ahead and let's click as discipline electrical, and let's have this one as an originator. Okay, let me apply it. and narrow it down. All right, as you can tell, my name is over here. Some of the documents that we already looked at are here, and as you can see, I'm the comment responsible on those documents. And let's say for commissioning documents, I feel that Nathan needs to be a reviewer. So permitting this, excuse me, your security profile, I can go in here, and this pop-up window will come up. And I can say Nathan should be a commenter, comments responsible for information, etc. So let's add him as a reviewer, and that's it. And all this document will, when it goes through the review process, will automatically route to Nathan, and he will get notified. Okay, and that's all I have to show for you guys today. Shane, you want to carry on?
Thank you, Natalia. So, what we took a quick tour of just a small amount of the document control functionality within Pims. But the reason we did that was to highlight the key elements that were relevant to this particular client and their situation. So how did we meet their challenges? We talked a bit about the issues they had before. Now we've seen the system a bit. So we demonstrated how the web portal could be used by the contractors more efficiently than relying on transmittals. When I, as the contractor, uploaded my documents, it gave me instant feedback on those documents. I could instantly see whether they matched an existing record in the MDR, the document ID, step and revision. The ease of use of the portal meant that documents could easily be submitted as soon as they were ready. I didn't have to wait for the documents to be batched together, sent on a transmittal, imported by document control when the verification process would finally occur. Ultimately, less data errors are introduced into the system this way. In terms of the system being not intuitive, remember, this was their existing system. Let's face it, most of us don't love to use computer systems. We use them because we have to. They're part of our day-to-day job. Therefore, we want to remove as many barriers as possible for the users. We work together with the client to ensure that Pims Document Control met their needs and was intuitive. We updated our self-service portals to guide the users through the process. The contractor dashboard makes it easy to see what needs to be done, easy to see what has been done, simple to upload my documents. It gives me instant feedback on the quality of my data and documents. It has instinctive and intelligent tools to help me search and filter through the documents. The company or engineer's dashboard that Natalia was using, again, has many of those same traits. It's easy to see what she needed to be working on, easy to see what had been done already. It provided a really simple online tool for reviewing and marking up a document in one simple step. She didn't have to, download the document, to open it in its native format, to edit it, to save it, and then upload it. She could do that all within the one interface. She had those same intelligent searching and filtering tools for the documents. In terms of the review process, we streamlined that in a variety of ways. Providing system validation of the contractor's documents via the portal gave the contractor instant feedback, gave me as the contractor instant feedback, and led to better quality data getting submitted into the system. The engineers were able to navigate within the system more easily, and that online one-step markup tool made it much easier for them to review, comment, and return documents. Enabling the engineers to review documents in parallel and making it easier for the comments responsible person to consolidate the comments meant that the review cycle could be completed more quickly and efficiently. The system has now taken control of the review cycle by setting up the distribution matrix to suit the default document parameters while still allowing flexibility for individual documents. You saw how Natalia added Nathan into the review cycle for a particular commissioning document. Also, the system can exchange documents between the contractors and company engineers without having to wait for a document controller to batch up a group of documents together and then create a transmittal. So as soon as I was finished with the document as the contractor, it was there ready for Natalia to review. On the planning side, we talked about wanting to enable the document controllers to have more time to establish their plans for document control earlier. By having the system perform as much of the data validation as possible, they needed to spend less time on that process. By having the system control more of the process or workflow, they could manage the process by exception instead of as the rule. The need for transmittals was reduced. All these improvements enabled their document controllers to spend more time on planning and adding value to the process and less on being a police officer. Well, like most good stories, this one has a happy ending. We hit the bullseye. After we presented the enhanced capabilities of Pims Document Control, they decided that Pims was the right tool for their project. They began using Pims, and then there was an even better result. They were so happy with Pims that they decided Pims Document Control would be used on all their projects, replacing their previous product. I want to leave you with one simple concept to think about for your own projects and document control needs before I hand over to Nathan for the Q&A. This model is very basic, but that's what makes it effective. When you look at the direct costs of the internal document review process, so I'm talking about the company here, not the contractors, consider the costs. If you take the number of documents, and remember that could be anywhere between hundreds of thousands of documents, depending on the size of your project and complexity, you multiply that number by the cost to validate data before a document can even be brought in for the review cycle to commence. Multiply that by the number of reviewers, the time each review takes, and the hourly cost of each reviewer, and you can really see where significant time savings and cost savings can be made. You know, even if you, on average, just slightly reduce the data validation time, slightly reduce the number of reviewers across the average, and enable them to perform the document reviews more quickly and efficiently, you've got significant savings that can be made. So now Nathan has joined us. He's going to recap as many of the questions you've asked as possible based on the time we have. Thank you for submitting your questions during the webinar.
All right, thanks, Shane. I'll go ahead and handle some of these questions here. First question, Shane had mentioned parallel review, but does Pims Document Control allow sequential review as well? The answer is yes. We can set an order for how each person should review. If you want to set it up to use a sequential order, we can do that, and we can say what order each of the reviewers needs to review in. Of course, the comments responsible person is always that last person to do the review, as they need to consolidate comments that were made and do that final submission back to the originator of the document. Next question, can you use third-party tools for advanced markup? So the answer to that is yes, you can. So if you are used to using Adobe or something like Bluebeam to perform your markup on your documents, you know, stuff that has some advanced shape capabilities of drawing advanced shapes and things like that, you can use those third-party tools to mark up your document, your PDF document, and then upload that into Pims. When you do that, Pims will look at that PDF and will automatically pull out all those comments and markup that have been done in that third-party tool. So you'll see when you upload that file, it pulls all those out into the comments section that Natalia had gone over, and you'll actually be able to see all that markup on in the little viewer on the web as well. Next question. Can the document controller go in and close out a review on an engineer's behalf? And what I'm assuming by here is that we have a set of reviewers who are listed to review each document, and I'm assuming this question means if somebody's not available to review, can the document controller remove them? And the answer there is yes, the document controller has the ability to go in, remove different reviewers if need be, and close them out. Another question I have is how do you deal with native files? With native files, typically what we see is when you're getting a submission of documents from a contractor, they're going to send you not only the native file, but hopefully a PDF as well. The review tool itself, the online review tool, the online markup tool works on PDF. If you have something like a CAD drawing that you want to do markup in, we do also have a third-party tool within the system that can be used for marking up those CAD files. It's called Rasterx. So you can use our Rasterx plugin to do that markup as well. If it's something like a Word file, then you're going to download that file, mark it up within Word, and then upload it back in. Let's see, next question. Would engineers receive a notification for something which is overdue? The answer to that is yes. Pims can send automated, you can set it up to send automated email reminders. So that's something within the settings that you can set. And you can adjust the text on those email reminders if need be as well. Next question. Hold on one second, let me read through this one. How difficult is it to export documents out of Pims after a project is over? Within Pims, we do have the ability to export. We have an export feature that's built into it. Enables you not only to export out the document files and all the metadata into an Excel spreadsheet, but it even gives you the option to specify what metadata that you want to include in that Excel spreadsheet. So if you're looking for bringing out your documents to put them into some corporate retention, and the corporate retention requires a certain set of fields, then you can specify that metadata that should be included in that Excel spreadsheet export. Let's see. Another one. Can more than one engineer make comments at the same time in the same document? The answer to that is yes, if you have it set up to work in parallel. As I mentioned a little earlier, you can set the reviews to work in parallel or in sequential order. If you have it set in parallel, then two people can be working in it at the same time. They can be doing their markups in it at the same time as well. So one person being in it at the same time as another is not going to affect that review process. You can both be in there reviewing it with no problems. Let's see. Any other questions that we have here? Let's see if I've missed any. One was, can document control delegate tasks to somebody else? And the answer to that is, yeah, the document controller can fully control that process, that review process. So if they need to add in an extra reviewer, they can do that. If they need to remove a reviewer and assign somebody else to do that person's review, they have that full capability as well.
Then I want to let you go, Nathan.
Then I want to let you go. Good questions here. Can Pims layout be adjusted to company purpose with needed fields? The answer to that is yes, you can. You can specify what fields that you want to use. So if you want to track some fields that or don't want to track some fields that we do, or want to track some fields that we don't, you have the ability there to specify on the document group what are the fields that you're looking to track. Okay, so that's all the questions that we've received. I'll go ahead and hand it back over to Shane.
Thank you very much, Nathan, for adding your expertise and feedback there. Here are some additional links you can use to find out more about Pims and Pims Document Control via our product pages. The user guide is there. There's a handbook available. Now, don't panic that I didn't leave that up very long, because we will be posting a link to this webinar within www.omega.no/US in the next few days. And there you can also find links to the January and February webinars. So if you missed those, go catch up. Our next webinar will be Wednesday, April 27, and it will be focused around a cost control scenario. For those of you in the Houston area who might want to join us, our next mixer will be Friday, April 22nd, and our next breakfast seminar will be on Tuesday, May 17. So, thank you for attending today's webinar, and we hope you gained some useful ideas. Please take the time to complete the webinar survey at the conclusion, because this gives us valuable feedback so we can make each webinar better. Until next time, bye.